Bandito Radio 112 FM, a streaming radio station for all toy enthusiasts, collectors, photographers, and customizers. Built to match your mood and passion. Music from hip-hop to country and all the rock in between with host Howlin' Jim Jackson. For a dose of the macabre, there's Myra's Morgue of Midnight Madness. Plus our newest collector podcast, Purple Gang Gang Full Frontal Purple. And Action Figure Frequencies. With your hosts, SKN's own Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. Bandito Radio 112 FM. Available to stream now on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Good evening. It is Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on the SKN Network. And this is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. Tonight, we've got a jam-packed episode for you. First, we're going to try to do our detective work and figure out what happened with that McFarlane truck. A bunch of toys went missing and nobody knows anything about it. Well, we're going to discuss that. Do we have the inside scoop? Stay tuned. Plus, we are going to talk about the end of season 1 or Born Again Daredevil and also Punisher. What does the future hold for Frank Castle? Well, we're going to discuss. Also, it is Superman Day. And with that, we talk about all the highs and all the lows and what's going on with crypto. That and much, much more. This is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. Well, we appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment. We always love you all hanging out here, whether you're watching it live and in the comments or after the fact. SKN appreciates all of you. Gentlemen, let's get started. First off, Superman Day is upon us. I do not see any red or blue from any of you. No capes, no curls. What the hell is happening? And are you excited about Superman Day? Dr. Brantley, first off, what's going on, sir?
I mean, I might watch the original Superman, Chris Reeve. Get ready for the new one, but I'm not getting my hopes up. So I know I've always got two good ones that are waiting way, way, way back there. But other than that.
All right. Well, chat.
Yeah.
Superman.
Well, Superman. I mean, I don't know if I'm excited for like Superman Day. I'm not sure if I'm pumped on that. I'm with Dr. Brentley. I know a few good Superman movies I can watch. I don't know of any Superman movie that's coming out soon that is interesting, but I hear there's supposed to be some. So I'm not sure. What about you, Mr. Storm?
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to getting my Stern pinball game on tonight after the show. But other than that, though, Superman Day. Hey, you know what? 87 years. It's a hell of a milestone for something to be around that long and still be extremely popular. So you've got to give it to them. But we'll see. I don't know about the movie, but hopefully they can do some really good Superman comics. Whenever a movie coincides with it, usually there's some good books is out there. So let's hope for some good Superman stuff somewhere.
Well,
Yeah.
I certainly hope so. I mean, they just released the announcement, the new toy line of McFarlane figures. So I'm sure we'll talk about those. Okay, let's jump right into tonight's main topic. And if you have been under a rock in the toy industry, well, here is the news. A bunch of Supergirl figures from McFarlane were stolen. A pickup, a big rig heist, something out of a movie. And now there's a lack of Supergirl figures in the market. Lots of people are disappointing. And, we're just awaiting the Supergirl figures to be on the black market any day now. Mercari, eBay, all over the place. I know
All
you
over.
all were devastated when you woke up to the news that the
I was.
Supergirl big rig was stolen. But what's your take here? And do we have any inside information about this heist?
Ugh.
Yeah.
I
This is
don't.
this is
I
a
don't.
tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say about this heist. Like, I feel like it's one big joke. Okay. Like the truck says McFarlane on it. They take it. It happens to be Supergirl, which no one asked for those figures. I know there's Killing Joke stuff in there as well too. I don't know. And then also, it is literally never happened in the history of McFarlane being like, hey, I lost a giant truckload of what happens to magically be every Killing Joke figure ever. So we know the boxes are extremely small because they don't all fit into one trailer. It's just a little weird. Okay. I'm not going to say it did. Allegedly, it got stolen. Allegedly, around the time that he lost the license to DC. And I just think that that's a very convenient, I don't know, like maybe a setup, maybe something else. I don't know. I'm gonna pause. I have my other thoughts, but yeah.
I think there's three different scenarios. Okay. It's actually either was a straight up heist. Someone saw McFarlane Toys, thought it was, oh, well, maybe this is some stupid geek stuff I can sell, went off with it. Seems unlikely to me. The other one is perhaps the manufacturer put some stuff on the boat, got over here, got to the truck, and it wasn't actually there. And then they have someone take off with the truck, and then we sent it. The other thing is it could be a producer's kind of a situation where somebody at McFarlane went, actually, we could make more money if we had this shipment stolen.
That's
okay. From the only other person that's ever owned a trucking company, worked most of the logistics, gotta just debunk all that. What's going on, Toy Mercs? What's up, brother? I gotta tell you, no. All right. First of all, anything that came, if it was on the truck here in the United States, it went through customs. No funny stuff and everything. So the minute it got onto American highway, that's not the case. If it would have happened, it would have been in customs, and it would have been before demurrage or anything else was paid. So that's that.
Well, there are boxes. They don't have to be filled with anything.
They go through them on custody.
Okay.
When they come over the boat, they don't leave the shit unopened. They go through it. So there's no greasing of the palms and shit. It's not going into the Kingpin's port right here. Second thing, it was en route to the McFarlane factory or to his warehouse. So somebody is at a TA or probably at some truck stop or something somewhere, and it was probably taken. Whoever took these, I can tell you flat out, made a mistake because they probably didn't know. Because McFarlane's not. I've never seen a McFarlane Toys truck drive down with a trailer with his logo on the side. So it's probably a standard truck from some other company. Somebody stole some crap off it. They open up the boxes. Oh shit! It's a bunch of Superman and Supergirls and Joker. I can't sell any of this crap, and they're probably cursing each other out at this moment because they can't find a pathway. Because that's a lot. And even when he said the entire shipment, which I can tell you is BS. I know what a 40 like an actual 40-foot trailer will hold. It's not going to hold an entire shipment of toys that you ordered unless he only if it's like under 10,000, yeah, maybe. But we've seen the crap on the shelves for McFarlane Toys all over the place. And Walmart basically had to put out a disclaimer saying, hey, your Supergirl figure is not there. So it's not a small amount of stuff. He's probably got some stuff on the boat that's coming back from someplace else. But this sounds like a little bit of like insider. They made that truck disappear, and it's going to be an insurance company claim that's done because no one on the Facebook McFarlane's not big enough to have tractors and trailers with his information on the side of it. He doesn't ship that much stuff out. So
It was Toretto. I've seen enough Fast and Furious movies. It was a black Honda Civics that came through and took the. I think we're gonna see over the next several weeks.
Yeah,
there'll be viral videos of people at the beach and Supergirls floating up on the shore because I think that truck was dumped in the middle, like dropped off a pier. And we're going to see a bunch of Supergirls on oceans across the United States.
Somebody's pissed.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it was Supergirl. I wish it were other figures that could have probably used being dumped into the water. But very interesting. What would make this even better, and I don't wish harm to any company, I'm just purely for story and entertainment. So I'm not encouraging this behavior, but if another truck was stolen and there was an actual like serial theft ring of like figures, and there would be only one man to stop it, and it would be Bruce Wayne, Batman, and it could be a real life story. You never know. Maybe this is a way to generate more interest for McFarlane figures. Who knows? Because if one of those things pops up on the black market, it's going to be a rare collectible. It's a grail, actually, because you can't find them. So maybe it's a opportunity to drive further interest in the figures. If you say most,
I've got a feeling that shipment's popping up somewhere. Yeah. I think you give it a couple of weeks, and hey, we found this somewhere in the Arizona desert, parked off somewhere, and there's a bunch of.
You think it's like a Ollie's thing?
No, I think somewhere like some guys busted in, they stole it. They're like, oh man, this is nothing, and they're gonna find it parked in some abandoned warehouse or somewhere on the side of the road, and there's gonna be some half boxes opened, and the police will find it, and then people at Walmart. I don't know what they're gonna do with that because at that point, that is probably a lost leader, and they probably already insurance companies and crap like that's already been paid. So yeah, we may get some destroyed Supergirl figures at that point, but
It's
I
probably
don't think too
being
much is coming from it.
it's probably being buried along with the ET cartridges from the 80s. Just dig all those up, bury the Supergirls with them.
We'll see if Toys for Tots this year has just tons of
That'd be amazing.
Supergirl and Jokers.
Hey, it goes a good.
Someone's getting them.
So are you saying that this heist is actually Robin Hood?
It's a
He's giving
charity,
back to the
yes.
community? There's an interesting spin.
That may work.
Okay. Well, again, we don't wish harm, and we're not one to make a joke of it, but we are one to make a joke of it because it is a bunch of Supergirls that were heisted. But we shall see. Maybe they will catch the theft ring of McFarlane figures. But for now, the rarity of Supergirl is now happening. So if you get your hands on one of those, considered it a grail. Next up, well, our next topic is, well, Frank Castle. He has arrived, and now I guess our big question is, what is the future of the Punisher in the MCU? We know that they are going to be making a what is it, a mini series of some type, or what did they confirm? Was it a mini series, or was it a 1 episode 2-hour special? Either way, it's going to be a limited run. Gentlemen, what's your take on Frank Castle's appearance and where he plays a role in the entire MCU?
You know what? I love John. I think he's a great actor. I know we're going to talk about Daredevil after this. I thought, again, he does an impeccable role. I think when you write him the right material and he's in it for more than 15 minutes total, it's great work. Great work. This was, if all you did was to tease this for something else, then you wasted my time watching, because that's not exactly what the trailers or anything else. So again, we'll get into that with Daredevil, but I hope his special presentation, one shot, really ramps it up, and I want to see him go full bled. Now, again, some events happened with the season finale that makes it a little bit better, but I just want to see them use him right. I thought the Netflix series did a great job. It was fantastic. I think so far in his MCU run, it was a little lackluster for what they did to him, but I like his look. He looked great. I thought his arc was going to be better than what it was, and we just didn't get anything out of it. But I'm looking forward to them really, especially if he's associated with actually doing a little bit more of the creativity with it. Maybe we'll get a little bit better presentation of the Punisher.
I think what's in the future for the Punisher is a sweet headband, because obviously, if you look here, we gotta match him up. I would be curious to see, like you said, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the Punisher as we get kind of into it. The reason why I'm excited about the one-off Punisher thing is because John Barenthal, I believe he wrote it, but I know he's got a heavy hand in it, and so I'm excited for that, to see what they're gonna do. But I have my opinions about the series so far, and I will save that till later. But outside of that one shot, I don't really know what's next for it.
Yeah, I think they should do, because it's Punisher War Journal, is what they're going to be calling it, I think. So what they should do, I think, now they're not going to, because it's probably going to be very dark and moody and violent. But there was, right at the beginning of that, there was this 2-parter that was Punisher and Wolverine go to Hawaii. And that would be crazy. Have Hugh Jackman come in, and it's a lighter, different kind of a thing. There's still plenty of murders and killing and stuff, but you just get to do it in a tropical climate.
That's funny.
I hope that this isn't the end of Frank Castle. One shot and you leave it. We've tested the waters. the audience likes violence. Deadpool, Wolverine. We want to see Punisher crossover in other MCU series movies. Don't disappoint. Give us what we want, which is a hell of a ride with Punisher, violence, and then after the fact, where he plays a role in other series. But don't let this character die off again for many years, and don't give it to us. We want to see Punisher. I was excited to see him in Born Again, but it's time to see Frank Castle more because the audience demands it, and he's just a badass character. So give it to us. Give us Deadpool and Punisher. I mean, I love Dr. Brantley. You said Wolverine, Punisher, Deadpool, Punisher, and there's so many other areas in which he can come in and play a huge role.
And Punisher and Deadpool is a great combination too, just because, like Wolverine, one is super serious and the other is Deadpool. So, you know, it works having, just like Cable and Deadpool worked. One is just like no nonsense and the other is all nonsense.
Yep, 100%. Speaking of nonsense or no nonsense, the last episode of Daredevil Reborn hit the TV airwaves this past Tuesday, season 1 finale. And well, there was a couple of different things that happened. So for those of you who have not caught up, the next couple minutes, we're going to be talking about this. So spoiler alert, but I'm sure it's been all over your algorithms and your social media feeds. Here we go. Gentlemen, what was your take on season 1 finale of Daredevil and the conclusion of Born Again series?
Who wants to go first?
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna let Chet go because I know we talked about this, so you might as well just fire it off right, and let's not just sugarcoat it. Just give us your pure thoughts, brother.
Okay. Well, I have look at. I am somebody that has things that I need to do. And so my time I like to spend on things that are important. And when, you know, there's the thing I you know, look, don't waste my goddamn time for 9 episodes. Okay. The last episode, the whole thing, there was like maybe 1 or 2 really good episodes. I don't understand what I watched. Let's put it that way. In this last episode, I don't know what I watched. I know that Punisher was in it, and we had all talked about this before on previous casts, that it's like this is going to be one of those payoffs where they give you like a 3 to 5 minute scene with the Punisher just to make sure you're comfortable. And then we're supposed to be okay with that. We're supposed to be happy. But the storyline, like I just like watching the last episode, every time like the BB report showed up, I'm like, yeah, they did not have enough film. Like they could have made this last episode like 25 minutes, maybe 30 if you add a commercial or two. Honestly, I'm just pissed off. Like it was like we just wanted to see Daredevil. Like we wanted to see Daredevil. We didn't want to see him simping out over letting the law handle it. He has enough experience understanding that the law doesn't do anything. That's why he exists. He's in Hell's Kitchen. That's why he's there. You know, I don't understand. If you go back, I don't even understand why they showed the scene where he's looking at all the different colored helmets. Like I thought that was like foreshadowing to some point down in the episode where we see him bust them all out. Nope, just pulled the Lost move and never talked about that again. It's like when you watch Lost the first 2-3 seasons and you're like, this is great, and then they never talk about the smoke, they never talk about the numbers, they never talk about the rooms, they don't talk about any of that shit. And instead, we're supposed to just sit around and be like, well, this is cool. Like we got to see, you know, then they kill Foggy right away. And then it just, look, if you wanted to make it about William Fisk and Vanessa, then you should have just called this show Fisk and just let us all know that this was going to be a talking head series with the occasional showing up of Daredevil, maybe a little bit of Punisher here and there, and then that's it. And then look, at the end of it, they tried to make up for it by giving you some scene with Punisher, and it's like, I'm cool. I didn't. That's also dumb. And now I'm just gonna add color commentary to everyone else.
Yeah. I had a bad feeling that this was going to be a situation. Like it rained a little bit in the same vein as Echo, where it was like, when we knew they had to go back and cut some stuff out, I thought they had actually went back and reshot some stuff. It seemed like they saved a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, because there was one episode where it felt like the old school TV kind of like, sleeper episode where they had a, like, they just dropped it in, and it's a bank robbery and they made some mention of some stuff that seemed in that tone extremely like that was from the original stuff they shot. They teased that we were going to get the Punisher. We technically, if he was in 30 minutes total of the entire series, then I'd be shocked. I would have to look at the timing on that, because it seemed like they really kind of just kind of like milked him out, and they wasted him. And I'm glad he's getting in one shot, because that character definitely needs to be examined. They did not take the Netflix approach, because the Netflix shows were better. It had promise, and they said it was more violent. The Kingpin doing what he did, and I don't, just in case someone hasn't watched it, I'm not going to explain that, but if that was your apex of it being brutal, a couple of fight scenes in the beginning of the first couple of episodes, you just didn't do this. It didn't have the same. I never saw one scene that I thought was like, I believe it was season 2, where he was in the prison, and I never saw that from this. This seemed like a Disney Plus show. It didn't seem like they did the Netflix. Now, here's the thing: when they get some promise, hopefully we'll end up getting some of the street level characters, the Defenders, again. Hopefully we'll see Luke Cage, or we'll see Jessica Jones or something, because those cameos are going to be coming in some way in season 2. I heard they already started in March. They started shooting season 2, so they said in March 2026 we're going to get the season 2 debut. So we're going to get it just like Reacher or anything for Amazon. We're not going to wait 2 years to get to see where this goes. But I was extremely disappointed, because I had a feeling that they're going to do this tired thing from streaming. I've complained to it with Dr. Brentley. And one of the main things is that on television, every episode has to hit. When it's on just standard basic television, you can't have an episode Law and Order go, and it takes 6 episodes to build up to it. You better get every week, there better be something. Streaming, since we're paying for it, it's let's string out everything, because they got to watch them because they're paying for it. And let's put all our might into the last episode. And they really kind of didn't do that. And then to have the end of the scene kind of scenario pop up, and I'm not going to ruin that for anybody if you haven't seen it, and say, all right, well, this was it. It was just, again, like Chet said, it was one of those, this is what happens with the Disney Plus shows. They basically say nothing, and you watch an entire series, and you're like what happened to it? And again, the reason why I'm getting on their asses, we watched Penguin. Every episode was riveting.
Mm-hmm.
You left that last episode like, my God, I know we're probably not going to get more than this, but I hope. It was with the whole Marvel thing was, what are you doing? We've seen this before. Dr. Brentley.
Well, the fight scene with Punisher and Daredevil was fantastic. That was good, brutal. That's what we were looking for. But there should have been more than one of those across 9 episodes. And that's really the problem. It seemed like, I don't know if they were just trying to be a more adult or something, but yeah, there was just, the action was missing from, if any superhero show has these things that you have to do. And, it shouldn't just be there because, well, we have to have a fight scene now, but you should be able to build a story that has these things in it. Because I was really excited about halfway through. And I'm like, okay, so I see how this can work. they're gonna get like all these street level guys because they say we need an army. So I'm like, okay, they can have all these cameos in the last 20 minutes, a big action scene, just like they did in WandaVision, something like on par with a movie. And oh no. What I mistook was this wasn't a season finale. This is the halfway point in what was originally one season. So this makes sense as a midpoint. It's like, okay, we've got everyone, and this is the breaking point for the city and for Daredevil and Punisher. And it should have had a different ending to be a season finale. What they did was just, oh, yeah, not a lot mattered. But if you come back next season, then, oh, yeah, it's really all this stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's just frustrating and disappointing because they had an opportunity to do it, or at least end on something that is more akin to a finale.
Yeah. It's never going to work out. Never going to work out if the best episode of the series is episode 1. And it was, in my opinion. It actually started off pretty good. I know everyone had some problems with the CGI or whatever. I didn't mind it, but it started out like, okay, this is the tone. Like, I love it. And then it just time in, like filler episodes, probably not the greatest, like character development, Kingpin being a softie. And then to your point, Mr. Storm, at the end, like that was how you're going to tell us that Kingpin's like back to his being a badass. Now, there was pockets of the series that I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
But there was so much hype surrounding, like this was Marvel and Disney Plus's chance to get back into the good graces. It was like a mediocre shot at that. Now, season 2, maybe they're building up, and I'm not super excited at the edge of my seat. Plus, the Army, we're going to see the Defenders again. Am I excited? Like, you're going to bring back the Defenders? I'm assuming. It could be surprise, could be someone else, but that's probably who it's going to be. And at that point, what, you're going to bring all the other Netflix folks over? I don't know. At the end of the day, they could have really taken a 90-minute season finale, uplifted the show, and got people excited for season 2. And it kind of felt a bit flat. I did enjoy seeing Frank Castle again. Can't wait for John Bernthal's take on Punisher, extended version of that. But overall, mediocre. Like, if I had to rate it, 6 out of 10 collectively as a series.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that was surprising to me, and if you haven't watched the first episode by now, I'm going to ruin this, but why bring the actor Foggy Nelson back to kill him in 30 seconds?
It's so
it was just
stupid.
It was like, we're going to bring all the people back, then you kill them off. I was like, what was this?
But that made sense because then it's like, okay, now like you killed him and like Daredevil's going to be this like, but they never built off of that. Like they never showed damn,
I
my
agree
friend
with you.
is dead and I'm going to take vengeance. It was like, he was just a baby for multiple episodes of like,
but I'm saying is, why bring that actor back and don't at least give us like, because you could have took episode 1, built at least his performance, build it up, and then shocked it. But just to have him come in, takes a drink, I'm going outside, and that's it. And you're like,
here's what they should have done. They should have brought him back, and they should have done what he did. He should have had one episode where he was simping over it and he was super upset. And then the episode that happens where him and Frank Castle are having the conversation in Frank's basement, and he gets the realization that he screwed up by not doing what he needed to do, should have been the trigger point, and the rest of the episode should have been him just violently beating the shit out of everybody to get what he needed. And they didn't do that. They didn't use that as like that whole scene was textbook setup for what triggers somebody to do what they're going to do, right? That's like that whole scene, the way that I looked at it in my head was like, if we saw the first Punisher, right? I'm talking Netflix, first episode of the show, His family gets mowed down, and you're like, crap, this is what creates Frank Castle. And then the rest of the series and the rest of the first season was him fighting back and forth between the cops, having discussions about what they're going to do for his family, and he never does anything. And then season 3, we finally get to see him put on the vest and he becomes Punisher, and then they cancel the whole series. That's literally what they did in this whole stupid ass series. Is they said, here is the probably one of the most intense scenes, even from the Netflix series, crossed over between Frank Castle, right, and Matt Murdock, and they're having the conversation. You're like, holy shit, this is it. This is what makes Daredevil lose his mind and go and become like the vigilante he needs to become without the moral compass, and he just does what he needs to do. And they were like, God, that was such a good episode. Now let's just pretend like we didn't write that. And let's just pretend like you have no reason to be Daredevil. And let's just constantly talk about your stupid law office that no one gives a shit about. Let's then also just continue to have these other stupid conversations that don't make any sense. Oh, and then also the other person that was really close with Foggy, like, we can't remember what the actress's name was to remind her that we were still filming. So let's not bring that person in at all, because we don't know what the hell we're doing. And it's like, you lost this opportunity to remove every doubt you had about Daredevil, for him to go back and tap into all the different suits, to tap into like the White Tiger. It's like there was no payoff to any of that, because he was also close with the White Tiger. Remember, like, that was a whole thing they wanted us to believe, right? Was like he was close with that. So when he gets killed, it should be this like mind-altering mind fuck that he has to go through. Now Foggy's dead. Now the White Tiger's dead. He realizes he comes to a realization as a lawyer that law isn't just, and he has to take it into his own hands. And then that's the dichotomy of like, the Punisher's willing to go that extra step, but Daredevil still kind of got the Batman mentality where he doesn't really want to kill people, but he doesn't have a problem like injuring them, right? But no, let's not use any of that shit at all that we set up, and let's tell you about Matt Murdock's love interest and William Fisk keeping a dude in a dungeon while Vanessa is busy whatever the hell that shit is. And then like the big payoff at the end is you get upset because we didn't give a shit the whole time. You can really tell that they were like, whoever wrote that scene between Matt Murdock and Frank Castle, they fired that guy apparently and didn't let that man or woman or whatever fucking write anything else in the series. Nothing. And I will give it to them when you see him breaking bones and like shattering and beating up and everything. That is probably the most violent I've ever seen on Disney, but they were like, all right, but only like one episode. Like, let's not go crazy with it. Right. They missed a prime opportunity for everything. And I hope to Christ that all of the other writing on all of the other shows coming out just doesn't continue to be this bad, because if it is, you're going to have some kid in his basement writing a better series and putting it up on YouTube for no fucks given, and it's going to make you look really bad.
Well, how many times have we seen, like, DC can do TV shows? They can't do movies right, but they do great TV shows. And then Marvel does a better job with the films, but their TV shows are lacking, except for the Netflix series. And somehow this has bred itself back into, because so far most of the Disney Plus series have been kind of lackluster. And the last several ones we've gotten have really just been kind of just not above the par, where we're talking about Secret Invasion, Miss Marvel. We haven't been getting this. This one, you had the hopes and the dreams of fans on it. And I think they just kind of like, it was just a major letdown from Daredevil. And, I don't know if they recover greatly for a season 2, because I don't know where you go from here. I just know I was sorely disappointed by the actions and everything that happened, man.
They're going to have a problem with season 2 because no one's that excited, I think, after this season. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll wait and see once it's over and then hear what people say about it. But I think Chet's right. They had a great opportunity. It was called Born Again. He could have gone into a whole thing about what am I doing this for, and made a conscience crisis of conscience,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and really dug into what he's doing and why he's doing it, and they just kind of littered it about, but that wasn't really what was going on with the character, and it
Well,
was
you guys would know this more than I would, but like Netflix did such a good job because Disney didn't write anything; they just licensed it, right? There was
Well,
no
no.
Disney writers.
Marvel TV was a part of it. It was just a different regime at Marvel TV. It
There was
was
Jeff
still
Loeb.
Jeff Loeb and a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
So it
but
was
also
different than actually right now Kevin Feige's version. So it's two
But
different versions of
Disney didn't
Marvel.
own. But Disney didn't own Marvel when Netflix was on. When
Yeah, they
Punisher
did.
was. Are you
Yeah,
sure?
absolutely, 100%. They
That was
owned
in
it.
the
They owned it. Yeah, it was Marvel at one time. It was Marvel TV, and that was headed by Jeff Loeb, and that was different. That's why the Netflix deals were ran. And then this is Marvel Studios now, Kevin Feige, and he's running everything on Disney Plus is through him, and it's not the stuff that we got to see on Netflix because that regime was let go after the Netflix series before the new Disney Plus series.
because once
So
Disney Plus was a thing, then everyone was saying, "Oh, well, what are they going to do with the Netflix shows?" And that's
yeah.
why they killed them.
Yeah, because just for date checks, Disney acquired Marvel in 2009, and then all that whole series all started in 2013.
Yep. Mhm. So,
But yeah, the biggest change was like what you guys are saying, who was heading it up.
exactly. Different writers.
Ah,
And,
Yeah, a writer, Jeff Loeb,
Mhm.
a respected comic book writer who knew the character. He's in charge, and things were good. I wonder what changed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Catherine Kennedy.
Just blame her for everything.
Mhm.
Star Wars,
Yes,
Marvel, it's all the
she had
same.
nothing to do with it, but I knew it was. I knew that the last episode wasn't going to be amazing because
Yeah.
usually before I'm able to watch it, I'm on like X feed and there is like trending, and just like Mandalorian, you would see like Mandalorian would be a hashtag, and I'm like, oh shit, something happened, or any like iconic series. There usually is a bunch of posts of people talking about it. I couldn't. It wasn't even in the top 10 when that
Mhm.
released, which tells me that people weren't excited about. Like, oh my god, right? I was expecting to see like, oh wow, someone Doctor Doom was in it or some crazy thing like that, but it was just like it was flat, So, we shall see. Season number 2. They've got a lot to restore and to repair. And who is the army? Well, time will tell. Onto something that was spectacularly good, and it looks like they're doing it right the second time. Godzilla -1. Now, for you old school Pixels, Plastic, and Ink loyal subscribers and watchers, our first ever box office graveyard awards where we nominate the best of the year and worst of the year. Well, Godzilla -1 got the best picture. There you go, Chet. 2023 by the PPI cast. This movie did extremely well for a very low budget. And well, Godzilla -1 sequel is now coming. My favorite rendition of Godzilla in the new age, and my favorite
Yeah.
look of Godzilla of
Oh,
the
yeah.
new age. I know, Mr. Storm, you are a fan of Godzilla, understated.
Mhm.
Are you excited about same director, same Godzilla, number 2?
This is when a studio gets things right.
Yeah.
Don't mess with a good formula. This guy had the passion. First of all, not only did he write, direct, did the special effects. He was whatever needed to be done. This man was doing. I've heard he did some editing as well. This was just a one chop shop kind of scenario where he put his vision through and it went through. You immediately go back because look, I love Godzilla. Watched him my entire life. And I think the legendary stuff is good, but this blew out anything that I've ever seen brought to the theater for Godzilla. It was fantastic. And that was due to the vision of the writer, director, and I love it. It's a period piece. and it's a great period piece, and it's also a great subtitle film. What it reminded me of, not to put this in a blasphemous scenario, but Mel Gibson does a great job with, like, subtitle films, and it's very rare when you can sit through and have somebody kind of get you excited about reading a film and everything, and just the pacing. This was in the same vein, and you were like, wow, it was done right. If you Whether you spoke Japanese or not, you understood the story because the storytelling was so well in the directing. So I'm looking forward to this. Right move on it. What was the bad move? Was that American studios had the chance to hire this guy, especially Star Wars. They invited him down to Skywalker Ranch, and no one seized it. Now, he is actually directing an American-based film, but why is this guy not doing a Star Wars movie? Why is he not doing an American Godzilla film? What, Legendary couldn't hire him? Like, what is going on? Because this kind of talent needs to thrive, and unfortunately, we've got the nepotism in Hollywood where somebody's cousin Joe will direct some other movie that he should never have a chance to direct. So I'm looking forward to this next rendition of him.
Yeah, it was the best Godzilla I've ever seen. I actually cared about the characters, and the first one where I didn't actively want Godzilla to step on the people I was watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But besides that, and what do you call it? Godzilla -2? Godzilla +1? Sounds like he's going to get a reservation at a restaurant.
Well, I'm sure we'll probably find something out. Look, I'm with Mr. Storm in this, and I think all of us are kind of on the same page. Like, I love the fact that he's doing it again. They know what they're doing. He's writing it, and Rad said it. This is literally probably one of my favorite visual interpretations of Godzilla. I think that if you look at this, like that's just like a scene that I don't think, like movie styles that come, but I just think he just has this whole concept that was just pulled off really, really good in Godzilla. And one of the things that I think that he did that, funny enough, I think is overlooked sometimes in Godzilla films is, like, Godzilla is swimming right here, right? But in some other films during that time, like, Godzilla would just magically stand up and like start walking to shore, but it's too deep for him to be doing that because he can swim in it. And I think that that's something that this director has kept in mind is, like, spatial awareness, right? Like, not the whole Ang Lee like Hulk movie where like he's 33 different sizes in 2 different scenes. And I love the way that he told the story and that you were able to get connected and you felt connected to pretty much everything that was happening. I think it was great. I'm excited to see where the second one goes. It's one of those ones where I'm not really going to care what the critics or whatever say. I will go to the movie and watch it, because the first one was so good. I think it deserves that.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, man. I just hope that lives up to expectations, right? Because he's mentioned many a times, I want to do Star Wars, I want to do this, and I don't know if like his film collection has convinced studios to give him a shot at big motion picture franchises. If he pulls out another amazing Godzilla, maybe there will be trust. It's like he wasn't a one-shot wonder. Let's give him the keys to a Marvel movie. Let's give him the keys to XYZ. That's what I'm looking forward to. But hey, man, any Godzilla, even King Kong, I'll go see it. I'm just even if it's cheesy popcorn movies, this one happened to be a really amazing film. Speaking of amazing films, or maybe not, as we led the top of the show, it is Superman Day, and just around the corner, well,
just around the
Superman, the film, is coming, and it's James Gunn's attempt at revitalizing the franchise. But before we get to that, Superman. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. Your thoughts on James Gunn and just the overall aura of the legendary figure we call Soups?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
you want to go, Chet?
no, you got this. You
All right.
got this.
All right. Well, one thing I will say is that look, whether you love him or not, James Gunn's got like Superman back into the forefront. People are talking about him. That's always good from a media standpoint. You want that character to be out living in front of your DC comics. So people are talking about him. That's a good thing about it. When directors come in and make their changes, and I saw something as well that was a little bit of a negative article where I guess basically the studio had known that whenever Henry Cavill was coming back to do the Shazam thing, that they knew, or the Black Adam, they knew they weren't going to use him again because James Gunn has secretly already been started on writing the new Superman. So basically, unfortunately, Henry Cavill did get a shafting by DC Studios and everything, and I don't expect to see him in a Warner Brothers film in a very long time because it was kind of dirty how they did him. But there's a new Superman out. How well is it? We're going to have to sit in theaters and see. From everything I saw, it makes me extremely worried. But again, his legacy is not just on film. Whether this film is good or not, there'll be another Superman movie. We know that. Just like James Bond, Superman will return, and it'll be someone else taking his crack with it. I think the comics, they've been trying to do a better job into trying to modernize that a little bit. I still don't know why they still work for the Daily Planet newspaper in the current point. So they need to modernize that a little bit more. I love that, when Jim Lee's on, Jim Lee's drawing illustrations just like this. It's fantastic. It's what he does. It's the thing that grabs, again, they're going to sell a bunch of merchandise either way. That's the best part. The T-shirts are going to fly off the shelf. But so far, even with Henry Cavill, and I thought Henry Cavill did a great job, I have never seen the Christopher Reeve Can a Man Fly sentiment reduplicated anytime. And every time you hear the theme music by John Williams, or you see like Christopher Reeve, or you just happen to see Margot Kidder or anybody else, it just holds a special place in your heart. It's hard to capture that again. I think Christopher Nolan did that over what Tim Burton did with the Dark Knight trilogies, where people are like, wow, okay, this might have surpassed what Mr. Burton did. So far, we haven't seen that with Superman, other than I think the Superman animated series with Bruce Timm, a lot of those guys did really kind of give us that kind of feeling. I'm hoping that we'll see that, because the alternative is we're 5 years away from seeing another Superman if this one's not good.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I do like about all of this is that for the first time, he's doing it like it's the DC universe. All the characters are already in place, already there, and it's like you're picking up a comic book today, where all the other ones, it's usually there's only one superhero and he's the first one and it's all an origin, that kind of thing. We've seen that a million times. This is walking into a fully formed DC universe. So I'm looking forward to it, but I am a little cautious because of all the things I've seen so far, but I like the concept.
Well,
Yeah,
I just know that I got to get a crypto plush and action figure and send them to. I know Mr. Storm is dying to get his hands on one.
Hey, look at. I'm gonna say something, okay? And this is, I haven't seen this until we just started talking about this, and I'm gonna say this. I don't like that crypto dog, but I don't know if you guys actually looked at the Superman Deluxe McFarlane figure that came with the dog.
Yeah.
But he did something that's kind of cool, which is the instead of swapping the heads, it comes with face plates. So you could change the different face of Superman. And it has like the one that comes on it, and then it has 3 additional faces. And regardless of what I think, and I'll see if I can pull it up, but like if you go look, I know Toy Arc Toy Arc, I think, is where I saw like they released like all the McFarlane ones, and if you go down into all of their like photos of all the toys that are being released, the deluxe one that comes with the dog, like it has like three different heads, and the dog, but it's cool because they're done as like faceplates, so you could just switch it. You don't have to be popping the head off and on. I think that's really cool, man. Like it really does change it changes your action figure, and you get the ability to have, like, if you're doing it for photos or whatever, you're gonna have like even more options. So I thought that was kind of cool,
Cheaper to
I know it has
produce
nothing to do.
than 3 heads.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with James Gunn, and other than I think that this is like James Gunn's thing. But look, I'm not excited for it. I'll just put it that way. I don't think it's. I think it's, if I go in with low expectations, I think I'll come out upset. So,
Well,
I don't know.
Another one we'll have to wait and see on standby, but Superman has returned, and well, there's some figures as we were talking about there, and looks pretty articulate there. The new McFarlane Multiverse Superman. It's just dude just looks goofy to me. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I hope it's good, but I'm just not digging the look like I did Cavill and ones before. But I hope the truck full of these does not get stolen, and that they make it to the shelves.
Well, you know what's
Got a
the
feeling
thing that
it's making it
sucks.
there.
The thing that sucks about this too is it's not soft goods. Well, I think that I think that
it
one
is. I
is
think
that,
the
the one that
cape
you're
is.
showing is, but
Yeah.
there's the other one that doesn't come with that whatever that thing is that's supposed to be a dog. It's not soft goods. So if I was to get any, and I probably will honestly get this figure because I want to see the faceplate. So I know that Marvel did the faceplates, where they did it for Galactus. It was like you take it off,
Oh yeah.
put it on, and you could switch it. It's kind of cool, like Dr. Brinley said, it does take down the cost of the figure. So I'd be curious as to what the Purple Gang thinks about that as a highly customizable people that they are. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know what James Gunn is doing. So
Well, it is about that time.
It
for
is.
everyone's favorite segment of the evening. It's time for, well, SKN News.
Yeah. Before we roll into that, we see everybody on X. Thanks for tuning in. And Purple Gang in the room. I saw Tori Merckx and I saw Dead Man. So, but we all know what everybody wants. Ladies and gentlemen, SKN News. That is right. From your world to our world, this is SKN News, and we are going to hit it up. Hey, Commander Bly. Yes, he is. First as
always.
First as always. Hey, look, I know the most important thing on everybody's mind was that the Fantastic Four movie was coming out, but damn it, what does actually the Silver Surfer look like? Well, we've got our actual first look of some still shots of this. And Marvel Studios unveiled the trailer, and the new trailer is fire. I will give credit to that. It's a great trailer. Marvel Studios unveiled the trailer for its upcoming 2025 film, The Fantastic Four First Steps, revealing a major departure from the comic canon. The character Silver Surfer will be portrayed as a woman, played by Julia Gardner, which technically is not a duration because that character has acted it. Fantastic First Steps introduces the female Silver Surfer named Shala Ba, a character from the roots of Marvel Comics, as reported by Screen Rant. The Shala Ba character is not a new creation to the film. It's a character with a well-established backstory. So far, I think it looks great and everything. My only problem with this is that they did have, and I've always had this problem with Dr. Brentley. He'll tell you the same thing. You could have just got any actress in the world or something to portray this character. You don't need to get these Hollywood heavyweights to come in and actually do stop motion characters unless it's somebody in stop motion. So this is kind of the performance. Yeah, it'd be all right, but they just did the hot thing. But
Well,
it
yeah,
looks great. I love the look of the character.
yeah. Like I was super excited that they're going with the female Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we get a female Silver Surfer updated figure. And because she was the original Silver Surfer until Norrin Rad took over after she died. So I'm excited for this. It just leans into it. She was awesome in the comics too. If no one's ever read that, like she was great. But I hope that they do actually make the figure. I love this. I thought this was a really good. I thought it was a really good trailer.
I thought so.
What do you all think about they're doing Galactus's practical effects versus stop motion? Or
I think it's yeah. I
like
think it's
the
needed.
walking was kind of cool, right? You
Yeah.
could tell it was like much different looking. So they actually made a suit too. I don't know if you read, but like versus like Downey Jr. and Iron Man, it's mostly CGI. That they actually created a Galactus suit for the actor. So I like that considering the era. Obviously, we see the Thing and it's like CGI, but for the Galactus sequences, it could be pretty cool combined with obviously CGI with the Silver Surfer here. But
yeah,
the trailer was great. That was actually, it better live up to expectations because the trailer actually was better than I thought it would be, the extended version.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think practical effects was smart. I think that the walking scene where you see Galactus's foot and it's like accurate to what his boots look like, and it just does destruction. And I know I know the one thing will be like, I thought he was Eater of Worlds. It's like, yeah, he has multiple different sizes, but he's most of the time gigantic. I think it's a smart way to do it. And look, I am really hoping that they utilize a lot of practical effects in this film, and it proves that you have to utilize practical effects more than CGI for your film to be believable, because that is one reason why Godzilla -1 was like very like I could live in suspension of disbelief, because it was like there was just as much practical effects as there was like CGI. And when I read about that whole thing you were talking about them creating the suit and doing everything else, it's like now they created the suit so they get the real textures of what it would look like in real life, and they can scan that shit and make it CGI and make it too real. Like you can have real life specs of it, and it just becomes that much more believable. It's like when you're doing like toy photography and you use mostly practical effects versus like digital stuff, like it's a whole different world, you know. I think it's great.
Dr. Burnley?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that impressed with the second trailer. She looks good as the Silver Surfer, but we'll see. I'm still not getting too excited about this, but that's because I've seen all the other Fantastic Four movies. And
were you ever a Fantastic Four fan?
Nope.
In terms of like comics and stuff? Yeah, so it makes sense.
He's more DC than Marvel, and I think that's why when you're dealing with people that's lived in the Marvel universe, Fantastic Four is just like Spider-Man. You want to see these characters, and Commander Blythe says if the movie is half CGI, just make the whole damn thing animated. But you're a little bit more excited in the Marvel. It's just like when the Black Panther arrived. You're way more excited to see that character than not. So. I can understand the trepidation by Mr. Dr. Brentley. They've got to actually, wow them over. So we'll hope to see if that can happen. On to the next, which is one that's been blowing up and actually is making me want to actually go see it. Sinner gets a 100 score. Okay, this is a little bit ambitious. I will give them credit on this, but Sinner currently has a rather stunning 100% Rotten Tomatoes score from critics. Not just a few critics, more than 36 now. That makes it the best reviewed wide release film in 2025 so far. Now more than a third of the way into the year. It's written and directed by Ryan Coogler, who's best known for his work on the Black Panther movies. He also did Creed, the original one. And then he was also with Michael B. Jordan project, his fourth, it's another Michael B. Jordan, but the fourth one. His first one was Fruitvale Station, which is a very good movie if you haven't seen it. Sinners is currently in theaters as of tonight. The trailers have looked fantastic. The red carpet, they've been getting a little buzz from it. Does anybody have a little interest in seeing this?
I do, but I will say this. It is currently at 98% for critics, and that's 216 reviews. But the impressive thing so far is that it is now at 97%, and that's the popcorn meter, and that's 1,000 plus verified ratings.
Wow.
So it's still really high. It's not 100 anymore, but it is really high. It is one that I'm intrigued to see, and I may waste a couple of $100 to go see it between the movie and the popcorn. I don't know if this has a popcorn bucket.
Chet just killed the SKN advanced team in the back that does all the information. Sorry, guys. Your information was a little wrong on the show, and everything. Got to work a little harder, gentlemen. Chet's got you to more moments. We can't get on the show and have this kind of stuff. It's at 97, damn it. So
yeah.
We'll talk to those interns in the back.
Thank God.
How does everyone else feel? Rad, you got any interest in seeing this one in the theater, or you gonna wait till it comes home?
I don't know if I'll go to the theater. I mean, I've got a couple things I'll need to see at the theater, and I don't go to the theater very often, so I'll catch this one on stream. But that's great. I like Michael B. Jordan. I think he played one of the most underrated Marvel villains of all time, and no one ever talks about him like they talk about everyone else. And I think he deserves a shot for that character to be back in some form or fashion in the MCU, hopefully one day. But I like Michael B. Jordan as a great actor, and hey, I don't think they're making this up unless they're paying for subscribers, like other people we know. But I guess we'll wait and see for this one.
Dr. Brentley, this is in the theater, or wait till it comes home on to stream it?
I'm not going to see it in the theater, but I rarely see things. It's really like event pictures I go and see in the theater. This is something that's much better, I think, at home. Get comfortable, turn down the lights because it's a scary movie.
Wait, who the hell are you seeing this movie with?
Well,
it's none of your business.
It sound like.
I feel like you're not going to be doing much movie watching, buddy. You're going to be committing some sins like cargo.
Hey, it's maybe more chill than Netflixing, but that's not your concern.
You're taking this movie literal, buddy. Okay, that's not the idea. I don't think Commander Bly would approve of that.
No. And it says, looks good, but my next theater visit will be Revenge of the Sith. Yes, and make sure you get that popcorn bucket too.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is probably my favorite Star Trek movie. So,
we've hit through Sinners, so it's 97. Just interns, you guys got to do better, gentlemen. Got to do better.
Yep.
On to the next story, which is always one of our favorites here on the show, and if you watch the show enough, you'll know this is a favorite of yours as well. Oh my God, Thunderbolts Popcorn Bucket Mania! Oh,
this is awesome.
Now, let me tell you something. Just on the sheerness of the total level of it, just looking like a piece of crap limo, it looks fantastic off the bat.
It's so good.
AMC
but you know what they're going to do? Is this one where they only open up in the hood, where they could use the whole car, but they utilize the hood only?
I think it's only the inside of the car that opens, man.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Yeah.
AMC Theaters has officially revealed its exclusive Thunderbolts popcorn bucket, shaped like the team's bullet-riddled limousine. Shared on Instagram, the collectible lets fans scoop popcorn straight from the top of a Lexi's. What's his name?
Shostakovs?
Chavostakos, whatever. Bullets of bolts. a nod to the chaotic vehicle seen in multiple Thunderbolt trailers, which we did, and we also saw this thing was multiple. I think the rearview mirrors were torn off and everything else like that. But yeah, it's fun. Look, every now and then there's a bucket that you're not expecting. I did not think that that this would be a popcorn bucket. Not quite. But gentlemen, that's not all. If a bullet riddled limousine popcorn bucket isn't going to go for you, well, guess what? They didn't stop it right there, baby.
Okay,
Everybody
good.
in town is jumping on this. So let's go over to Cinemark. Collections include
This is so
complete
stupid.
gold and a green popcorn bucket, branded fountain drink cups, and a reusable tumbler that features a twist on. And from there, we got to go from not just Cinemark, but we're going to go over to Regal is offering a collectible combo that includes a dark tone popcorn bucket and matching fountain drink and exclusive minifigures that you can get right here, which you kind of see them. But Cinemark's looking like it's killing it. But now, look, Alamo Draft House couldn't be stopping. Guess what? They got to do the things that's really good for what they're doing because again, it's Draft House, so we think there's alcohol being served there, which we know there is. They are offering a sleek and collectible way to toast the Thunderbolts with an exclusive pint glass available for pre-order, and that actually looks cool. Now, look, I don't know if anybody's been checking on this movie. This is one of those fingers crossing that Marvel makes his money back on this one because so far they haven't had a good Marvel box office this year. So we're gonna hope that, but they've been banging with all their popcorn buckets, the Captain America one, and all the rest. But I got to tell you, the limousine from AMC and Cinemark with the actual Red Guardian, like hooded mask kind of like bucket cup kind of thing, they are two of my favorites. So, gentlemen, which ones? Because I got a feeling a bullet riddled limousine is going to show up in somebody's collection. So
Look,
what you guys think?
that's what I want, but the problem is I have shit luck with popcorn buckets. I to date have not been able to get any popcorn buckets. And I'm gonna hate the fact that I'm gonna try to get the limousine one, and then this is gonna be my first popcorn bucket. But I mean, come on, it's a limousine.
Yeah.
Now, this one at least, it looks like it can fit a lot of popcorn in it, as opposed to the Tauntaun, which can barely fit 3 kernels in it, it looks like.
But that is being served at Disneyland, and there's a reason that Disneyland, they don't want to give you a whole bunch of crap and everything. You pay more for the Tauntaun, get a little bit of bucket. But this one, they'll probably give you. Look, I'm sure they'll scoop a couple of buckets to give it for you for these. But which one, Rad? Which one you buying here, brother?
Well, like the famous Randy Jackson once said, they're all going to be a no for me, dog.
Just didn't feel it, brother, huh?
No.
Buckets didn't move you, huh?
No.
Bullet riddles and limousine, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, hey, we can't convert them all. There's a difference, but anyways, the Thunderbolts we're about a week away or so for the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Commander Bly said, "Does it have a hole in the bottom?" Asking for.
No, that's the Doom bucket, brother. That's the wrong one.
That's a Doom bucket. Yeah, that one.
But with that, gentlemen, and as we always do this, that is the end of SKN News.
Thank you, Mr. Storm, as always. And as always, we appreciate you all that tune in every Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time in the chat, or you watch us at a later time. All good. Don't forget, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time is the Toy Box Chronicles for all your toys and collectibles needs. Well, we got a jam-packed episode of that show that I know the gentlemen are going to tell you about in a bit. But one thing that I have noticed is on our social channels, there's some disruption, some videos, some teasers. I don't know what's happening. We got to talk to the interns, but I've seen like mysterious figures and I've seen some glitches and some videos about this channel. I don't know if you all have any insight of what's happening, but it sounds like there's a date of 4/23, and I'm not sure that maybe I'm going to be unemployed from SKN, but I don't know. I know you're all seeing that too. Any thoughts of what's happening next week on the channel?
Same as man. I talked to my agent and everything. As far as I know, but then again, it could be like Henry Cavill's agent as well. Our agent's pretty shitty, to be honest with you. But we could be out of jobs next week. I don't know. So I've been seeing these moves silently put in, and I got no clue what's going on. But they're saying it's something a channel wide swipe or something. What was it called, Chet?
I don't know. I thought I knew. I don't. I was trying to do something and I got kicked out and then put back in, and it was weird. It was weird. So they're overtaking the whole channel, I think, is what's going on.
Something's happening.
Something's
Dr.
definitely
Friendly,
happening.
any clues? Anything you think is going on, brother?
I barely work here, so I don't know.
Well, we'll have to stay tuned, but 4/23 is the date that I'm seeing pop up on the channel, so I guess more to come on what the hell is going on. But we do know for sure on 4/23 you all have a special guest on Toy Box Chronicles. Is that right, gentlemen?
Yes, we do. We have Ace from McFarlane Toys coming over to Toy Box Chronicles. We're going to talk everything ramen toys and toy industry and get some insider info and just catch up with Ace. You guys all may remember back in the day we started, we had Ace on, one of the first channels to actually have Ace on, by the way. And we were excited about that. And there's some good news coming up there. And I know we had between Ace and the Odd Frog guys and us, we had some good times in Toylanta, so I'm looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be good, and then we'll see what the hell's going on with all the glitching and craziness. But yeah,
I guess so. Well, if you tune in Wednesday and we're not on, you know something happened.
And we are just a few weeks away from a big G.I. Joe show where this crew will be attendance. Mr. Storm, May the 4th.
It is.
G.I. Joe invades the Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
What's happening in the SKN universe?
Hey, we're going to be at the SoCal Joe Show in the beautiful city of Temecula, California. That will be after Coachella and everything. So it should be a nice ride out here for everyone. Because right now it kind of sucks to get out here. But we're going to be there. We're going to be live streaming from the table there. We've also got, we're going to have our Odd Frog brothers there. They're going to be bringing the 112 Chop Shop with you. And we've heard something very special with the Bandito will be arriving. So another Bandito variant we may be seeing pop up as well, too. So that's going to be something special for the SoCal Joe show that you're going to see the first time there. And hopefully we'll be live streaming if all Wi-Fi goes right and everything, but we've seen that Wi-Fi can go wrong, go terribly wrong. But if it goes right, definitely will be a good time. And then after that, if you're enjoying that time in Temecula, California, well, then it's nothing to drive up the 15 freeway and head to Apple Valley, because on May the 4th, technically, so there's a rumor that I've heard is Star Wars Day. But our buddies over at the Sarlacc Digest podcast, we're going to have a special Star Wars trivia at Better Days in actual Apple Valley, California. Now, you can't just show up for the Star Wars drinks and the trivia. Now, also, we have to put a little pressure on this because our reigning number 2 in all Star Wars trivia on the Sarlacc Digest podcast channel is Dr. Brentley. Now, we've been putting him through mass Star Wars training, and we've invoked the power of the Borg. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. That's, what is it? No, which I guess.
no, you're right. You're correct.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The power of the Jedi to Dr. Brentley, because God knows in every pop way, in it, like Commander Blythe said, Starlight who? Yes, exactly. But he holds number 2. We're going nothing more than number 1. So you Star Wars dudes, be warned, because we're coming for you. We're coming for the title and everything like that. And when Dr. Brentley wins, in fact, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put $1,000.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
This is how much we believe in him. We're actually going to make a FanDuel bet. Can he beat Star Wars, guys? Damn it, we got to put it up. I'm gonna say that for the first time.
Just give me the $1,000. It'll be much better used.
Well, no, man. See, well, you don't know. We've taken some of your money to put it in there, so that's an extra incentive for you actually to do it a little harder. Well, we're looking forward to all that. Rad, on you.
Well, that's about it, gentlemen. Not too great of a take, Daredevil disappointing, Punisher a bit more excitement, Superman we'll see, Fantastic Four we're all excited except for Dr. Brantley who could care less, well, plenty of other things to look forward to. So thank you all for tuning in. Wednesday 7 p.m. Toy Box Chronicles featuring Ace, and we'll find out what the hell is going on with the channel. Have a great weekend. See you next week.
Incoming transmission.
There's a new show headed to Bandito Radio. Action Figure Frequencies with your hosts Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. All the talk on action figures you crave. Only on 112 FM Bandito Radio.